Hello everybody, welcome along to the Road to Cheltenham. It is our weekly festival preview show building up to the big one at Paisley Park in 6 weeks' time. And delighted to say here at Betfred, we've announced today that we are now non-runner, no bet on all 28 races across the 4 days of the Cheltenham Festival. And every week we'll be here in the studio reviewing some of the key races, the trials, looking ahead to some at the weekend, giving you some offers and some charity bets along the way. Right. Joining me in the studio is radio DJ and massive racing fan, Joel Ross. Joel, 6 weeks away, it sounds a long time, but it's just around the corner. Cannot wait.
Yeah, it flies so quickly, and this is the time now where you put it into second gear, third gear, fourth gear, and then you're counting the sleeps. 2 more sleeps to go. So excited. It is Christmas for me. This is my proper Christmas, even with 2 kids now. They're not watching. But yeah, so excited. Every single year, so excited. There are some races shaping up to be brilliant. And there are also some races that I haven't got a clue.
No, I think the punters in the shops and at home will be of that opinion as well. Let me just go back to you briefly. Your background in racing, I mentioned radio DJ, people will know you from the airways, but you absolutely love racing. What are your early memories of Cheltenham?
I mean, I went, first of all, it would have been early 90s, and my granddad was massively into racing, and you rebel against it. So it's like, you know, I was forced to play rugby. I hate rugby. You know, racing, I hate it. And he's sort of like, actually, I really like this. For me, it was just the crowds. I couldn't see a thing. It was the days before the massive TV screens everywhere. And then I really got back into it around the best mate first Gold Cup era, then the second, then 3 Gold Cups. You know, all right, he beat Harbour Pilots, a Rembrandt, and you know, handicappers behind. But from there, I really went to got the bug. Yeah, got into a different league, so to speak. And then I had a little bit of ownership and syndicates and things like that, which I can recommend a syndicate to anybody. It's so much fun for very little outlay. And yeah, one day we'll have a Cheltenham runner.
And you mentioned it's like Christmas this time of year. It's brilliant. It is the best week of the year for you?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. And then you get the before and afters with Chantry and the Dublin Racing Festival as well. So it's that cherry in the middle, isn't it?
Okay, well, the Dublin Racing Festival is just around the corner this weekend, but let's look back at last weekend, shall we? Because it was Festival Trials Day at Cheltenham, and some key market movers for you. First of all, we'll do this every week. First of all, Paisley Park for the Stayers Hurdle. Brilliant performance at the weekend, winning for the 3rd time. We are now 8-1 from 25-1. Pied Piper, superb ahead of the Triumph Hurdle, perhaps now 9-4 favourite for that, in from an initial 12-1, and Statler for the National Hunt Chase, now 3-1 favourite from 9-2, also a winner over the weekend. But of course, when you think about Cheltenham, you think about the Gold Cup, the big one on Friday. So let's talk about that, shall we? And the Cotswold Chase on Saturday. Chantry House winning it. Workmanlike, I think it's fair to say. We're still 16-1 about him. What did you make of the performance?
16-1 is a shocking price. I'm sorry for any management listening or the traders or whatever. It should be 1600-1. That horse has got no chance. No chance in winning the Gold Cup. Behind was what? Santini and I Wright. Couple of handicappers. You know, I mean, come on. Nico got off the horse afterwards. The horse was tired. There was a fair few mistakes in there as well. Yeah, that was the Gold Cup for Chantry House. Still a really good horse. Really good horse. Nicky's convinced that he will run. I'd save it for another day. Maybe pick some up at Sedgefield or Hexham.
Right, that might be a bit high.
Yeah, no, I was joking. I mean, a bit of Chantry maybe.
16s, by the way, if you do fancy Chantry House. Santini, by the way, 66-1, former Gold Cup runner-up, of course. Aplutar is still the favourite, though, at 3-1. It is a bit of a murky picture this year, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, look, I had Aplutar for the treble, which was Ireland, Haydock, and then on to the Cheltenham Festival. I had a tenner on it, big prices when he got done in Ireland. Right favourite for you?
Probably at this point. If we have a look, the first 3 of last year, Manila Indo, Aplutar, Albion Photo. Manila Indo out form, Albion Photo, probably the forgotten horse. But then we go 24 lengths to the rest of that field. I mean, we go back to Chantry House again with a line through that straight away. Hard race, cheap pieces on. That's the making of the horse. I think Galvin, who beat Aplutar in the Savills Chase. Everything went right that day. 2 extra furlongs at the hill, over 3-6 at Cheltenham. I mean, that race last year at 3-6 was great. I just think Davy Russell is made for that horse. I think that's probably. I think Galvin will go off second favourite. I still think Appleton will go off favourite. And the one that we've got to look at is Protector Rat. And we just don't know how good that horse is. Stepped to 3 mile 1. Won that grade 2 by 25 lengths or whatever. But it could be anything. It's a really hard Gold Cup. But I think the right one's at the top of the market.
OK, I think we'll get more clues, won't we, at the weekend with the Leopardstown meeting, the Dublin Racing Festival and the Irish Gold Cup to come as well. Right, let's move on to another big race at the weekend. It was the third Cleve Hurdle win for Paisley Park. We mentioned that at the top of the show. The 10-year-old winning now into 8-1 for the Stayers Hurdle. It was a brilliant performance, especially considering nearly refused at the beginning. Yeah,
well, 20 lengths. A lot of people had a go at Ruby Walsh for saying, well, if I was riding that horse, I'd have pulled it up at halfway or whatever. I retired Paisley Park, circuit out, and gone, what a beautiful horse that was. Do you know what? Lovely.
I can only imagine the running price.
Yeah, I think ridiculous. It was beautiful to watch. It was beautiful to watch. But also, what does that do to Champ?
Well, this is the thing. Is it brilliant on Paisley Park's form, or is it maybe making the others look poor?
Both, I think. I think if you can pick up 20 lengths, we know Paisley Park, comes off the bridle and needs stoking, then, comes back on and tries to power at the end, but you wouldn't have thought that at the age of 10. Made Champ look so ordinary. I mean, there's no way that you'd look at, 8-1 for Paisley Park now for that race, but Champ.
Well, Champ out to 5-1 now.
Yeah.
Interesting whether the Stayers Hurdle is still going to be the target or not. And of course, Classical Dream was beaten prior to that at Garin Park in midweek. Yeah. That one's gone out to 5-1 from 5-2. It means Flooring Porter is the favourite at 7-2.
And we said Flooring Porter is now favourite by pretty much staying in a stable at home, eating carrots. It's very, very difficult. It's very difficult. Champ, look, a lot of people will go Champ at 5-1 is phenomenal value because you're getting each way of that anyway. You're going to be in first 3, aren't you? You're hoping so. It's so difficult. But I thought Paisley Park was outstanding, really outstanding, and it made the others look bad.
OK, speaking of outstanding and making the others look bad, what about Pied Piper, the new favourite for the Triumph Trial, now 9-4 and getting back to all the time. By the time you see this, might be even shorter, by the way, was an initial 12-1. Absolutely brilliant. Connections have also got Phil Dorr, who is 3-1 and may well run this weekend in Ireland. Interesting to see whether they both run in the Triumph Hurdle or not. But just a word on Pied Piper, not off the bridle, a brilliant performance. Yeah,
we say, and again, I always look at it Twitter or Instagram afterwards. Well, what's Pied Piper beat? But I like to see a horse that wins well. All right, we can look and see what it's beat afterwards.
There's a 50-1 shot in the second
one. Yeah. So, I mean, I can see what people are saying. But visually, and you've got to say visually, to the eye, it was brilliant. Do we think both of them will run? Because I think it was you mentioned to me that Gordon Elliott had said the other one was even the better horse.
Home, yeah.
I mean, same connection. Do you run them against each other?
Yeah. Apparently Connections have said that is, at the moment, what they're going to do, so...
Pied Piper looked phenomenal. Looked absolutely phenomenal. I think it was Brendan Powler tweeted straight afterwards who said, there's your Triumph winner. There's your Triumph winner.
I guess the beauty of non-runner no bet is that you don't have to worry about that.
I mean, I've said before, many people are thinking they will run together. Many people are saying they won't. You can actually back both of them. If you fancy both of them, if you fancy Pied Piper, you've got to back the other one as well. A tenner a piece on those. You're making a profit if one of them wins.
Speaking of the Irish, by the way, we saw North Lodge coming over at 16-1 now for the Ballymore winning that trial. It was interesting to see actually Alan King training that one, and whether the English can actually challenge the Irish in these races at the festival.
No.
It's not looking good, is it?
It's not looking good, and Alan King's been woefully out of form as well. There's no way. I think I heard Davy Russell on a podcast. I think he'd been out that night, and he was saying about why the Irish horses run so well over here. Did you hear the story?
No.
He went, Henry de Bromhead, what he tends to do is, it's something to do with the water over here, right, which originally they didn't like. So up to the Cheltenham Festival for the month before, they put vanilla drops in the water in Ireland, and when they come over here to get acclimatised, they put vanilla drops in, so they don't think there's any different taste. Now, I don't know if this is, if I've been sucked into this, because it's like, the Irish must have magic carrots, something like this, but Davey is convinced that it's the vanilla drops, vanilla essence in water that does
whatever it is, it's certainly working. And we'll get to Mahler Mission as well, another Irish winner coming over and winning elsewhere. But North Lodge for you, for the Ballymore? No?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
The thing is, but the Ballymore for me, I have nothing. I don't mind putting my hands up. I'm so confused. I'm not sure what will go. Apart from Nicky's, is it up in the air or something around that? Is it up in the air or something? I think that's the only one that's probably going to go.
Yeah.
I have no idea what goes in that race, so I can't.
Yeah, I think we're all a bit clueless at this stage, aren't we? Okay, so that was Cheltenham. Let's move on to Doncaster because third time lucky. I was back in the Arkle picture for the Skeltons, now into 6-1 for that race, but is a doubt. I think there's a minor injury in the race. I know you were hearing the Skeltons talk about it last night afterwards. Yeah, apparently it's going to be fine. There's some fluctuation in the prices. No Fernie Hollow straight away is the bigger story. There's still 24 entries in there. Blue Lord for Mullins goes to the Irish Arkle, I presume as well, and probably comes here. For me, third time lucky, did it fine. It did it fine. That the horse in the second that came down was well beaten at the time. Such a brave horse, but fell. I think it was for pleasure, wasn't it? Which I've had a couple of quid on at 80-1. But it has fallen twice. Third time lucky up, at his number. You're not getting stuck in at sixes now?
No, not for me, no. I think I've got Edwardstone as well. I just keep coming back to Alan King completely out of form. And he beat third time lucky when he was given a shocker by Harry Skelton. Went off far. I know what he's trying to do, but he went off too quick. And Edwardstone just picked up the pieces and looked great. I think that's a really classy horse, is Edwardstone. Yeah. And beating Do Your Job by 30 lengths is not up to Arkle form for me for third time lucky. Okay, what about Mahler Mission then? We mentioned that one as well. Now 25-1 for the Albert Bartlett after winning in the River Don Novice Hurdle at Doncaster. It was a gruelling race, but yet again another winner for the Irish, John O'Connell, bringing that one over. What did you make of that performance? I'll be really honest with you. I'm very much of a non-opinion at this point. I've done every single race this weekend, and I've been through everything, and your head gets so mashed and you keep coming back to Irish horses. So for me to sit here and give an opinion that I haven't really got is not fun for anybody. No, I guess the opinion is the Irish form is looking very good. The Irish form is great, and whichever race we're looking at, and you go back to it, I am trying to find value for, as a proud Brit, I'm trying to find value for every Brit, and it's got to be there, but the Irish are just so far ahead of us. Yeah, they really are. There's, we can make excuses or whatever, but vanilla essence in the water, or whatever it is. Guinness. Yeah. Right, okay, well that's been reflected in the odds, and let me just recap those market movers, the big ones from the weekend. First of all, Paisley Park for the Stayers Hurdle. What an incredible performance from the 10-year-old, now 8-1 for that race from 25-1. Pied Piper for the Triumph Hurdle, now backed into 9-4 favourite. Money coming in all the time for that one, originally a 12-1 shot for that race. And Statler in the National Hunt Chase as well, winning and now 3-1 favourite from 9-2. Right, that's our quick recap then of the weekend. Before we have a quick look ahead to what's to come in Dublin, let's introduce our new feature. It is a charity bet from Joel and also Matt Hulmes, one of our residents here at Betfred. So Joel, we can see what you're going to put up. First of all, Champion Hurdle, Epperton. Yeah, look, Honeysuckle, 13 from 13 she is. She's brilliant. You're not going to learn anything by me saying that. You've watched one of her races. Just, unbelievable. Probably unbeatable. But Epperton for Henderson and JP. 9-1. Yeah, 9-1. I mean, can you get that out of the frame? Can you seriously see that being out the frame? It's a nice looking price, isn't it? I mean, beat Sharjah by 3 lengths 2 years ago. Gets a £7 mare's allowance. Mm-hmm. I really think at this time... And you're going 50 each way? Yeah, 50 each way on Epperton. Non-run, no bet. I just genuinely think that is cracking value. Look, if my life depends on it, Honeysuckle wins all day long. But you've got 2 other places there, hopefully, to fill. And, and I can't see it being out of 3. Okay, well, you and Matt are going to go head-to-head every week with your charity bets. Let's see what he's decided to do Honeysuckle in week 1 of the Road to Cheltenham.
Yeah, hi Sean, hi Joel. Sadly, here I am at home, still in isolation with the dreaded COVID, but fingers crossed I'll be back in the studio for Road to Cheltenham next Monday. But my charity bet this week, well, we saw him at the weekend. All right, he didn't win, but I still think he's the one to beat in the stayers. Champ by name, I think he'll be champ by nature for that third Thursday in March. I think if he'd come across to the stand side this weekend, I think he might have just held Paisley Park. You had that momentum on him. The race just transpired against John Joe O'Neill Jr. No blame on him at all. The Ascot win still fresh in the memory. He's 6 from 9 over hurdles. I think he'll make it 7 from 10 in the stayers hurdle. We know he can't jump fences, but I think he will be this year's stayers hurdle winner. So £100 on Champ for me, this week's charity bet. So all proceeds will go to Jack Berry House. Enjoy the Dublin Racing Festival this weekend, and hopefully I'll be sat in that studio to look back on the Irish action and head to another very busy Super Saturday at Newbury the following weekend.
Okay, that was Matt Hulmes then. So he's going for Champ. £100 win bet in the stayers hurdle, despite what we saw at the weekend. I should say as well, all the charity money will be going to Jack Berry House, doing great work for the injured jockeys. So, Champ, go on then. We already heard you. You're not a fan.
We go back to what we said before. Paisley Park, 20 lengths given away at the start. Stays on, 10-year-old. Made Champ look really ordinary. I mean, Champ was going to be one of JP's best horses. It's named after the world's best sportsman of all time, Tony McCoy. Given that brilliant ride at the festival by Barry Geraghty to get up when he was, you know, it wasn't even picture. But makes too many mistakes, looks hard, looks workmanlike, looks...
You can forgive him one bad run, no? Not you.
No, not at this level and not at that price.
Okay.
It just not for me. I was champ for the Gold Cup. You know, I'm very much, but no, I can't. Okay. Not anymore.
Maybe 1-0 to you then in week 1 of our charity bet selections.
Hopefully.
Ahead of the Cheltenham Festival. Right, so let's look ahead to this weekend, shall we, Joel? Because it's another cracker. Loads of clues to come in. The Dublin Racing Festival at Leopardstown takes place Saturday, Sunday. 8 Grade 1 races, over 2 million prize money in euros, of course. We got the likes of Manila Indo, Honeysuckle, you mentioned, Galloping Des Champs. Brilliant to see that horse back out again. That's just 3 of the superstars we're going to see at the weekend. It's
going to be great. I think the prices are going to change. You know, everybody gets stuck in this time of year by making the notes, and people do it in very different ways. Do it on a phone, do it on iPads. I'm very much the old school way of making notes right from the start, all handwritten and whatever. And I know that I can throw this book out. I can throw this book out next week because of what happens at the festival.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about the Irish form being more strong, being more informative. So this is one we really need to watch this weekend.
You've really got to watch this if you've got any, you know, I mean, Grenadine goes over.
Yep.
I mean, why? And then probably runs at Chantry, I would have thought, because I think a lot of these Nichols and Skelton horses will bypass Cheltenham. That's what I've been making notes of, just because
Nichols has mentioned that a few times, hasn't
he? Just because we're just getting killed by the Irish at every single point. Go and get the good prize money at Chantry, and really watch every single race at the Dublin Racing Festival and just see what happens. Is there going to be some short prices? What I don't understand, I mean, say first of all, Blue Lord goes to the Irish Arkle. Something like that, but then goes on to the Arkle here. What I don't know. That was a race before with Fernie Hollow, and it's so difficult until you've seen what goes on there to have an opinion.
Well, what I will say about some of those short prices is if you can join us at Saturday at 9:30 in the Betfred shots, Fred will be here giving you some big boosts on those talking horses of the weekend. So make sure you do join us. We've also got the likes of Weatherby and Sandown, maybe a few clues from the British form, although I'm sure you are of the opinion that really where it is at Leopardstown. Right, so thanks for your company. Just to recap to everybody, it's a big day because we are now no-run and no-bet on all 28 races at the Cheltenham Festival across the 4 days. We're just 6 weeks away, cannot wait. We've already got the charity bets in the bag, so best of luck with those. And you'll be here next week looking back on that very strong Irish form.
Well, this is it. This is where I come next week, and I'll be full of papers. I can run through the card because that's the last big clues that we will get. And then we won't know where everything goes, but we'll have more of an idea what flopped, what didn't flop, and something will flop. Something big will flop, and there'll be a massive market move somewhere. Will Honeysuckle hack up by 20 lengths, and then what happens to her price? Does she flop? There's so much. Next week is the week to watch
Yeah.
And really go for it. Get stuck in. This is just like the
starter.
The starter, yeah.
Okay, well, do join us next Monday as we recap all of that, hopefully a few winners and maybe a charity bet out of Joel as well. So that is to come next Monday as we start the road to Cheltenham.